This is the Influencer Entrepreneurs Podcast with Jenny Melrose, where I strategize with business owners on how to grow and scale their businesses to hit their income goals. This is episode 398 of the Influencer Entrepreneurs Podcast with Jenny Melrose. Today, we're going to be diving into boosting website visibility in a crowded digital landscape. If you are a business owner that is trying to get your site found, it can often feel frustrating. But what we're going to make sure that we do, no matter what algorithms updates occur, is to give you some key components to focus on in order to make sure that your website visibility is happening. Now, before we do that, I want to make sure that if you haven't already taken advantage of the Insiders membership, that you do so. We are offering all podcast listeners 40% off. And inside there, you are going to continue to find ways to run your business like a business and increase your marketing visibility as well as scaling your business. We give you weekly strategy trainings as well as a monthly group coaching call to make sure that you are taking the path that you need for where you are within your business. All right, so let's jump into this. Let's learn how to navigate the competitive digital environment and elevate your website's visibility for increased traffic and engagement. Because with the algorithm updates that Google has made, we are seeing more and more need for engagement, for comments to be made on a site. So you have to take certain tips to be able to move forward, to be able to continue to be seen. So the first one we're going to talk about is keyword research. You absolutely have to be doing keyword research. You have to know the string of words that people are using in order to find the problem that you solve. And you need to be using a tool for this. We've talked quite extensively about this in the past on the podcast. So we want to make sure that you are using a tool for keyword research. Personally, I use KeySearch. I find that it is not very tech heavy and it's easy to navigate. Plus, it's a relatively low cost at between probably around $15 a month. So if you're not using a keyword tool, you have to be doing that. And you want to be using the tool in order to find someone that is searching for the string of words that solves the problem that you solve for your audience. And when you do that, you want to have a certain volume that you are seeing. You want to make sure that the string of words that you are putting in are actually what they're using. Because if it comes up as a volume of 0, then that's clearly not the words they're using. So you have to be using a tool in order to know this. Now, the next thing that you're going to do in order to boost your website visibility is to take into consideration SEO optimization. When you are creating content, you want it to make it easy for your readers to be able to navigate the content that you are creating. So there should be some structure to your posts. You want to be using heading tags. You want to be using an H2, an H3, potentially H4, making sure that it shows your content almost like an outline so that your audience, your readers, can easily navigate through and get the value from the content. You also want to think about using bullets or numbers. The more you can organize it, the better off you are going to be because it'll make it easier for them to consume it and more likely for them to want to continue to read other content. The third thing you want to do is make sure that you are checking your website speed. If your website is loading slowly, readers are not going to stay around in order for it to load. So you have to make sure that you are checking that it is loading properly. If you're finding that it's not, you probably want to take a look at maybe are your images too large? Also, what kind of plugins do you have? Do you have too many plugins? Are they outdated? Do you need to update them? Do you need to get rid of some that you're not even using? These are things that are going to cause your speed to decrease. The fourth thing is to take a look at your website navigation. Just like a blog post, you want your navigation on your site to be easy for people to get from one piece of content to another, or to find out how to work with you, or to find out about your digital products or services that you offer. You want your navigation to make it simple. Now, with that being said, I want you to make sure that your email address to get in contact with you is easy to find. If you have an about section, include your actual physical email address. Don't just expect them to use a contact form. Those contact forms can break and you wouldn't even know how many people you were actually losing because of this. So make sure that your email address is spelled out so that it's easy for people to find and get in contact with you. You also want to make sure that when you're trying to increase your website visibility, that you take into consideration EAT: expertise, authority, and trustworthiness. This is important in Google's eyes. It should also be important in yours. This is where you get to stand out. This is where your voice comes in. This is where your expertise comes in. All the things that you have done in order to be able to solve your audience's problem, this is where you're going to be able to show that. You want to make sure that your about section goes into this, shows the expertise, the authority, and that trustworthiness that you have. And the trustworthiness is going to continue to come from just having that website in general. If you have digital products and you sell them on Etsy and then you create a website, that increases your trustworthiness because it's easy to see who you are as compared to some random shop owner inside of Etsy's actual shopping. The next thing you want to do is take a look at getting backlinks. And when you're looking at backlinks, what we're talking about here is someone else's website linking to you. This is going to help with your domain authority. It is also going to help to show that expertise. It gives that trustworthiness. The authority comes from that, and it will increase your domain authority. Now, in order to get backlinks, you're not emailing people and asking them for them because that's not the way it works. Instead, what you want to be able to do is get onto someone else's podcast show or be able to contribute solid content to their site that is going to make sense for them to link to. And the way in which you're going to continue to do this is continue to create great content so that when they Google something, your article comes up and they can easily link to it.
Hey there, guys. My name is Melanie from Mostly Under Control, and I am a member of Jenny's Influencer Entrepreneurs Insiders membership. I've been a part of it since 2017, and over these 6 years, I've taken full advantage of the weekly trainings that Jenny offers and the monthly group coaching. The group coaching is probably my favorite part of the membership. Jenny has taught me so many things for my business. She helped me niche down and write and teach about what I wanted so that I wouldn't burn out. In addition to what she teaches, the networking I've done with other members has been invaluable. I recommend her membership to all of my online business owner friends because it is worth every single penny.
The next thing you want to make sure that you're doing is interlinking. And interlinking is simply linking to your own content. It's that spider web of content that we so often talk about. You've heard me talk about the pillars of content that you need to have. Well, this definitely comes across when you are doing interlinking because of those pillars of content. You want to make sure that you have answered all of the questions that someone would have within that pillar so that it can interlink all of the articles that you've already written. You also want to make sure that you have high quality content. You want to write articles that are giving them the complete answer without being too much information. So you're going to give them the why of something without giving them every single solitary step. So if you are creating a recipe, you want to make sure it's that specific recipe. You don't want it to be 8 recipes in one post. If it is a DIY, it should be one DIY. It should be one organizational piece of what you are doing. And therefore, it'll make it easier for you to be able to interlink to other things that are going to help build upon their knowledge base so that it continues to give high quality content. You also want to make sure that you are checking Google Search Console. You want to see what you are ranking for, what terms that Google is already starting to set you up for, and that when it stops ranking you for something, that you take a look at it. Now, it is important that you always look at the data that you are provided with, but it cannot be your end-all be-all. I hear too many people, especially right now, when of this recording in the spring of 2024, where the sky is falling because there's that Chicken Little feeling that Google has made an update, and a lot of people are seeing that their content is decreasing as far as ranking. You cannot make that your end all be all. You have to continue to create great quality content that your people are going to continue to come back for. So keep an eye on Google Search Console. See if there's a trend as to what content you're maybe dipping down in ranks for, so that it'll give you a better idea of what you need to improve upon. The next thing you want to take a look at is your GA4, so your analytics. What are you seeing as far as posts that are getting the most traffic? How long are they staying on the content? It's important that people are staying on the content and then also going to other blog posts. This shouldn't simply be about page view chasing and getting a session. It should be about getting someone, a user, that is going to continually come back to you. You want to see return users in your GA4. And if you're not, you want to think about the things that you can do in order to get them back, which is my last tip. Make sure that you are focusing on email list growth, because if you do get someone to click over to your site from Pinterest, Google, Facebook, Instagram, wherever they are potentially coming from, you need to get them on your email list so that they can become a return user, someone that's going to come back to your site. And by having them on your email list, it gives you that opportunity to continue to get in front of them with your new content, as well as with older content that they probably haven't already read in the past. So this is why it's important to be taking a look at GA4 and seeing if the strategies that you are actually implementing are impacting the growth of your website with the visibility that you are seeing. I want you to be able to take all of these tips, apply a couple, really starting to feel confident with them, and making sure that you are getting users, actual people, your audience that you so need to continue to come back to you. Because as we've talked about in the past, page view chasing is done. We cannot simply rely on page views and ad income. You have to be growing an audience so that they continue to come back to you. They want the products and services that you offer or the things that you recommend through affiliate marketing or sponsorships. All right, y'all, I appreciate you so much for listening in. As always, if you haven't left a rating and review, I would so appreciate it if you took the time to do so. Just scroll down on your podcasting app and ask a question, even within the blog post that is with this podcast episode. I love hearing questions from you so that I can continue to make sure that I'm giving you the full information that you need in order to grow your business. All right, until next time, I will see you all then.